it's actually quite easy, very clear that Hyundai is committed to be involved with rugby, and we are committed to have them on board as our vehicle sponsor. It actually yesterday when the vehicles were delivered at our offices, the realization kicked in. But actually before that, when we saw under 21s play, under 20s play against Australia with the Hyundai at the back of the shorts of the under 20 team, the realization kicked in that this is real, and this is something that is very important to us at SA Rugby. Again, what is important to us is that the sponsorship cuts across all our properties. It is not only the Springbok team, it is the women's team, it is the under 20s, and it's the 27 teams that we have as well that are sponsored by Hyundai as a vehicle sponsor, which is it's a new way of doing it, and thank you for agreeing to that. It definitely helps us a lot to spread it across all our teams, and all our national teams are treated exactly the same. We thank you for that. And then only else that I want to say is we're looking forward to a long and fruitful relationship with you guys, Stanley. From our side, through commitment, and you will see when you start working with the team, when you work with the coaching and the management, they will be there to assist you as well as much as we can. So this is a partnership, and we are looking forward to a fruitful one.
I think today's announcement is more than a partnership. It's a celebration of a beginning of a shared vision. I think we share the same values as Hyundai, a brand that stands for innovation, progress, and a deep commitment to drive communities forward. I think the value system of Hyundai and South Africa Rugby is perfect, and I think it's a great partnership, and we look forward to welcome Hyundai to the South African Rugby family.
So we're celebrating 30 years since we won the Springboks have won the first World Cup. And interestingly enough, the Hyundai brand was launched in South Africa in 1995 by the first distributor that brought the brand into South Africa. In 1999, December 1999, they closed doors, decided to pull out, not sure for what reasons. But in 2000, we got the distribution rights for the Hyundai brand under the Imperial Group then. And since then, in the last 25 years, and we're now part of the Motors Corporation for the last 7 or 8 years since Imperial unbundled, we've put 785,000 cars on South African roads. So the Springboks are proudly South African, but so is Hyundai, and so are we. And over the last number of years, obviously Springboks, they won games, but they didn't only win games. I mean, they've won the hearts of South Africans. They've united our nation, as we know, and they've also showed us the true meaning of resilience and discipline and a vision. We had the privilege of Rassi speaking at our dealer conference at the beginning of the year, and he spoke about the values and principles that he has applied during the past couple of years and building the team and the group of players that we have today. And a number of points resonated with me. He said you must have a goal or a vision. There must be team harmony. And we also always speak about teamwork. And team harmony is such a good expression because harmony means everybody is happy. There is harmony, there's happiness. And he said they achieve that through basically encouraging dialogue. They challenge each other. Players challenge their colleagues. They challenge the coaching staff. And also attitude versus ability. He says, rather work with somebody that's got the better attitude, even if you have less ability. Because with that person, you can actually work. And you've got to take ownership and put in the effort. And there's no space for entitlement in the Springbok side. So the Springboks have a unique culture, and so do we. So we have values that we live in the Hyundai world. And those resonate and align with, I think, a lot of what the Springbok team and management have done over the past couple of years. Some of our values are you give your best every day, you speak out. Don't be scared to speak up. If you have a suggestion, if you don't agree, we encourage our staff to speak up and give their opinions. We embrace diversity, we make customers happy, and we celebrate excellence. And in rugby terms, I think our head office staff, that's the coaching and management for our dealer network. Whether it's through training, sales support, service and part support, and our marketing. And our dealers are our teams. So they play that game, and when the whistle blows the first of the month, it's game on. And they compete every month, every day. They compete against more than 50 global brands in the South African automotive market. And in the market that we're number 4 currently in passenger cars. We own 44 of our 100 dealerships, and we do about 70% of the retail business through our own network. And we've established a culture also on our dealer network over the years. There are clear goals set. There's daily discipline driving the activities that's necessary to sell the cars and service the cars and look after our customers. There is teamwork or harmony. We promote within. So because of the specific culture and unique culture that we have in the Hyundai brand, we have found very few managers come from outside, from other automotive brands, to join our dealerships and actually be successful. So we've just decided, let's look after our own people. If you put up your hand, you put in the effort, we will guide you, coach you, train you, and promote you from within. And we also blend youth with experience. That's worked very well for us, and I think it's something that Rassie also does with the Springbok side. He brings a lot of young players in the alignment camps. Maybe they're not going to be in the squad in the next year or two, but he trains them, he gets them involved in that culture that he needs to build the team going forward. So any partnership, I think, works only if you have cohesion and a meeting of the mind, so to speak. And when the opportunity came to our desk to say we've got this opportunity to be the vehicle partner for Saru, it wasn't a very long discussion or debate. And there was already excitement in the air, and we all agreed that it's a perfect fit for our brand. And I think rugby is the one sport that most of the 50 brands in South Africa want to be involved with and associated with. So as Riaan mentioned, our partnerships across all the teams, it's not just the senior box, but how good were those junior box on Sunday? And I think the Hyundai logo on the pants just make them that bit quicker and stronger to against opposition. And we wish them best of luck against England tomorrow. I think that's going to be a cruncher, but no doubt they'll give the performance they did on Sunday and take that as well. So I think through this partnership, what we want to achieve is we increase the awareness of the Hyundai brand in the market. We want to elevate the brand image through the eyes of the South African consumer. And we also want to instill pride and passion in our staff. So my vision is that, you know, when you put on that Hyundai jacket or shirt and you go to work, you must have the same pride and passion as those guys when they put the Springbok jersey on and they run on the field. I mean, there's nothing that makes us as passionate as sport. And if we can get our staff, and there are a lot of them that does feel that way, but we need to get all of them to have that passion and pride in the brand and our business. And then ultimately, we need to sell more cars. If we don't sell cars, we don't have a business. And then I believe through this partnership, there's no doubt that we will achieve these goals and become even a major player, a bigger player in the market. And then I think in closing, just Mark and Riaan, thank you for selecting us as a vehicle partner. Very good choice on your side, I must say. And we do look forward to a mutually beneficial relationship, and we definitely won't disappoint you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for those kind, generous, humble words about the Hyundai business. And speaking to the point about team, guys, can you help me welcome our 3 Springbok players today? One of the most passionate, motivational leaders that we have, Mr. Bongi Mbonambi. Welcome. Probably the player with the most diverse rugby journey ever, in my opinion, Mr. Andre Esreisen. And potentially the next future star, Jan Hendrik Wessels. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us along with the technical and coaching teams.
As I mentioned, that we are looking at sponsors that will cut across all our properties, because one tends to think that the Springboks is the only team that we have to look after. we have to use what the Springboks bring us to feed all the rest of our programs that we run, from grassroots level, community rugby, development of referees, schoolboy rugby, right across the board. That money comes 90% from the Springboks and the Springbok program and what they participate in. So it's very important for us, for the sponsors to have branding across all our teams, and also to have association with them. In the past, we only really concentrated on the Springbok team, and you were the Springbok team sponsor. Now you are the sponsor of all national teams across South Africa, and that just helps us to increase the commercial value, and we've done that, and then to have the money to feed the factory that creates the vehicles that we have here, which is our Springbok team.
This contract is going to be
4 years.
4 years.
4 years initially. Initially, yes. Okay. Just a follow-up question on the Hyundai brand itself. Obviously, the Springboks, travel overseas, etc. This doesn't specify Hyundai SA. It just says Hyundai. Is this something you maybe thought about, or it doesn't matter as long as it's Hyundai?
No, it's Hyundai. It's just Hyundai SA sponsorship at this stage.
Okay, thank you.
The lady at the back.
And how does the strategy then fit on a global scale with this partnership?
Mr. Anderson, can I invite you to take the first one, and I'll support on the second one.
So in terms of hybrid vehicles, so Santa Fe is the first hybrid that we've launched into the market, our first new energy vehicle. It will be part of the fleet going forward. It's not currently, but it will be part of the fleet going forward.
You can see we got a hybrid in Hyundai, and we got a hybrid in Rugby.
If I could just also add into both President Mark as well as Stanley's rebuttals there. So part of the key things we also looked at from a strategic point of view is the narrative behind what Rassie as well as the Springboks has painted. And truth be told, a lot of the players, to Mark's point, are hybrids in nature. So hence one of the hero cars we are leading and announcing our partnership with is our first of its kind hybrid vehicle in market with the Santa Fe hybrid. So that for us made a natural fit to hero our sponsorship with this landmark EV from the Hyundai business as the first thing. And to your second question regarding globally what it means, I think for us, it really announces ourselves as a player, not only within what we've known historically as football, as a fraternity, but now it's broadening that appeal into rugby, given next year, Olympics coming up. The women's is happening this year. The Rugby World Cup is happening. So it's now solidifying our stance as a global player across possibly two of the biggest sporting codes in the world. And I think that is a bold statement, not only to the competition, but also as a reflection of our ambition locally into the continent. Zweli, okay, you can direct. Last two questions, then we're closing this round. Cool. I'll invite the gentleman on the left.
How many vehicles does this involve, Stanley?
It's 20 vehicles on a permanent basis, and every time there's vehicles required for things like training and alignment camps, we supply additional vehicles. And also for when there's home games, for transport, there will be additional vehicles.
And will we all get best seats to every test match?
Just call me,
Rion,
Roger.
tell us now.
Okay, Edward Makwana here,
Thanks so much, Edward,
freelance writer for Forbes Africa and Your Luxury Africa. In monetary terms, how much did you have to pay for the sponsorship rights, Stanley?
No, that's confidential.
All right, cool. So can I open up for the second round of questions? Gentleman at the back.
I just want to ask the Springbok management. Obviously, you must have quite a lot of guys lining up to basically sponsor the Springboks. They have really sort of moved the goalposts now, as you know, with their performances, etc. What sort of criteria do you look at for a vehicle sponsor?
First of all, we realized the importance of us to extend our brand outside of South Africa. So it is very important to tie up with a very strong international brand as well for us, which is Hyundai. That was one of the criteria. And then the second criteria that was important to us as well was, and I mentioned it before, is the fact that they are willing to sponsor across all our teams and not only the national, the Springbok team. So that was also very important to us. And then obviously the quality of the vehicles are important to us as well. We are an elite, one of the best teams in the world, and we really cannot go with a vehicle that is not up there as well in the world and in South Africa, and that is what Hyundai is. So that was very important for us when we decided whom to go with.
Any more questions? Gentleman in the front.
Good morning, gentlemen. Everyone in the room. It's Kanye Soye from News 24 Sport. Question for Rian. When you look at the current economic climate that affects probably all the sports from a fiscal perspective, how important do these vehicle deals become in terms of from a cost-saving perspective?
Well, first of all, it is imperative for us to have sponsors and at the values that we're getting our sponsors on board now. And again, as I mentioned earlier on, this is not only to feed the national team, this is to feed all aspects of rugby and rugby development in the country. So yes, it is very important for us to have a strong commercial program. You know, we are one of the few countries in the world that still have a growth in playing numbers. In the rest of the world, the playing numbers are dwindling, ours are increasing the whole time. But with that comes added responsibility, because the more players you have, the more coaches you need, the more referees you need facilities, et cetera, and that all costs money. So we continuously have to improve our commercial program so that we can continue to serve rugby, and the whole ecosystem of rugby in South Africa is funded by SA Rugby.
It is a partnership for you guys, and in past you had a couple of partners already that were vehicle sponsors for you guys, and some of them stayed a long time, some of them dwindled away. How important is the partnership with Hyundai for you, and what do you expect from Hyundai apart from the monetary value and the vehicles they are bringing? Are you expecting anything else from Hyundai as a partner with SA Rugby?
The most important thing is for them to assist us to build our brand as well, and not only in South Africa, as I said, internationally as well, and that is important to us. Mark might want to add something.
I think it's about the value system. Our value system is exactly the same as Hyundai. I think the vision is exactly the same as ours. So we have to merge visions. We can't be with an organization that's on a different vision to us, and I think this is a perfect fit for South African rugby. It's both about resilience, it's about unity, it's about innovation. So is Hyundai, and that's what we're all about. So it's the perfect fit for us. So if you look at the fit, you don't normally go into a marriage where you don't actually like the person. So you go to a marriage where you actually, there's some kind of relationship, and this is about the relationship with Hyundai.
I just don't want to kiss Stanley now that we're married, Stan.
Last question from the gentleman there. Or I'll take one more on the right. So one.
Okay,
one,
this is
then closing.
Colin Wendell from Change Cars. This is kind of across the board. Obviously, SA Rugby is compartmentalizing sponsors to try and get more in. You've got Pick and Pay and various other people. How do you set about ensuring that there is no conflict or infighting between your sponsor groups?
That is quite easy. In the restructuring of our commercial program, we have specific categories of sponsors that we are looking for, and they have exclusivity in their category. We're also embarking with SuperSport to part of the sponsorship to create exclusivity in the advertising space around matches to try to protect our sponsors. And then we have various sponsors forums where we get all the sponsors together to collaborate, to talk to each other, and to assist each other in the various programs that they are running and that we are running. So we specifically identify categories of sponsors, as I said, and then we ensure that there's no conflict at all in those categories.
Again, we also don't look at sponsorship, look at partnerships, because we got partnerships go back 40 years. SA Breweries has been with us 40 years. We got Southern Sun that's over from 1994. We have Vodacom has been with 1995. So there's a lot of our corporate partners that are long-term players. We are partners. We're just not getting money. We collaborate with each other. And this is about a collaboration with our partners.
Last question on the right.
Thank you. Good morning. Is it still morning? Yeah. My name is Kunu Mbolokeng. I'm a freelance sports reporter. This question is directed at either of the SA Rugby gentlemen. President or CEO, I just want to find out, I mean, the CEO just explained now the importance of generating as much revenue as possible because the ecosystem of rugby is paid for exclusively by SA Rugby. But I just want to find out, how much does such partnerships influence the ticket prices of the premier national teams such as the Springboks? How much does such partnerships ultimately influence the pricing of those? Because I mean, I ask this primarily because there's been a lot of talk of late about the ticket prices for the Springboks, and I just want to find out if this in any way influences that.
No, they don't. We have the first time now taken over control of our test matches. Again, it is for creating as much income and value for rugby in South Africa. As I said, to service all the aspects of the rugby and the ecosystem that we need to service. Ticket prices, we believe, will become too expensive if people stop buying the tickets. We feel that we are fairly priced. If you look at other events in South Africa, we are definitely the cheapest if you look at the international tickets that's going on sale internationally. So yes, we do generate income out of the ticket sales, and we do not believe that the ticket prices are excessive.
But we also created the Bok Towns. The Bok Towns where people can't get to venues. We'll have Bok Towns. We just did a partnership with SA Breweries, and we'll have Bok Towns. But the Bok Towns are one thing. We also tried to activate the 45,000 taverns on game day. So it's going to be, we're trying to get it to as many people as possible. And we fund from the cradle to grave. So to fund that, we don't get the handout. We don't get government grants. We are a self-funding organization. We raise the funds ourselves to keep the team at the level they should be. So it's tough out there. And I know some people look at the prices because this is on a sliding scale in stadiums. And the funny part of it, the most expensive tickets are sold first, and the cheapest tickets, or the 200 rand tickets, are sold last. And we struggle to sell those tickets. So that's the ecosystem of rugby. 90% of our revenue we generate, 65% from the Springboks, 25% from our URC teams. So we generate our own money. So it's tough, and I know some people can't afford it, but that's why we created other avenues to watch game. Whether we have viewing areas, we have Bok Towns, and we're rolling it out across the country. So we're trying to make sure that everybody has access to our events.